Hey planty people, thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Sonia and this is Majestical Plants. It has been a very relaxing, enjoyable morning. My sister and I decided to just take a day to ourselves and had some breakfast, and then we went to see Spider-Man at the theater. So I am back. We had a very good time. We decided that we needed to do this more often because, as you know, when you become an adult and have responsibility and have grandchildren, it's really hard to maintain that sister bond. So we decided that we are going to try and make this a every 2 months or every 3 months occasion. And I am looking forward to that. But let me tell you, it was hot out there. It is still hot out there. But I have some propagations that I have been cutting, and they have been callousing, so it is time to propagate these or put them in their substrate. Let me show you before we start working on this. This is my my tray. I have some Indoensis. We have some linearis, some Huschkaliana over here, Huschkaliana green and Huschkaliana variegated. We have some Dischidias in here. We have some Carnosa, Publicalis, Sigillatus, Insular. No, this is Imbricata, Imperialis. That's what these are. And some other ones that we are going to pot up today. I have a plant, let me get this straight here. I have a plant sale and swap event in a few weeks, and another one in the month of October, and possibly one in November. So I am going to try and prop as many as I can. But I also sell my cuttings and starter plants on Blossm. And I am going to link the app on the bottom. That way, if you want to purchase any, you can see my lives and you can interact with me. That would be fantastic. And you can see all the starter plants or the cuttings I have for sale. But for now, let's start with this video. I am going to show you what I use as my propagation substrate, and there is a video in my playlist of how I propagate, but I would just show you quickly. This bag is kind of heavy. I use Stratum, Fluval Stratum, and I purchased this on Amazon. I don't recall the price. I feel like it's gone down. It used to be in the high 20s, but I feel like this bag cost me somewhere close to $22. And I also use, I don't have that huge bag because it's a huge bag, but I also use Perlite number 3. This one is number 4. You see how big these chunks are? I'll just cut them. They're easy to cut, easy to break right there. So I don't mind those big pieces. And then I have some plastic cups, different sizes depend on the size of the leaf, which I am propagating. I use these tiny ones for my smaller leaves. I believe they're 3 ounces. And I use my iron and made holes on these already. Trying to get this process going a little faster. And then I have some other cups. I have some 7 ounces and 8 ounces. No, 7 ounces, and these are 9 ounces. And then I have some strawberry clips, and these are used to pin the propagation down. And then I have my label maker for my labels, which I've already started them. And then my forgot what these are called, but I got them from Temu, and they come in different colors, different sizes, and I just stick my labels to those. Or actually sometimes I do like I did here, I would just stick the label to the cup. So it depends on the mood I am at the moment. All right, so let's start with our first Hoya. All right, so let's start. Oh, let me show you the substrate before I begin. I've already mixed it, so let me just show you what it looks like. And I find that this substrate holds better to the water than Perlite on its own. I've said many times before that I did start out with Perlite, propagating in Perlite, and it did work. I'm not saying it didn't. It did work. Unfortunately, Perlite was drying out too quickly for me. And I discovered Fluval from a seller that sent me a plant that I had purchased, and it had Fluval. So I decided to investigate, and I bought a bag just to try it out, and I've been using that ever since. I love it. I'm looking at my window because I do have a few cuttings in water. There are some that I decide to put in water. I don't have any rhyme or reason. Let me take that back. It could probably be laziness. You know, when you have a plant that's not doing so well and you want to try and save it before it goes. Well, that's what happened to these. They weren't looking hot. They were very wrinkly, and I just unpotted them, cut the roots, and potted them and placed them in water. So yes, that's the only reason why I water root my cuttings. But 98% of the time, I use this method. Let me know if you've tried this, and if it works, let me know how you propagate. Maybe you use something different than I have not tried, or something that is much faster. I also tried leca for a while, and that worked as well. Moss, I tried moss, and you've heard it before. Some people love it. I dislike it because it's so tedious to remove it gently from the roots. The roots itself for Hoyas are very, very thin and very delicate. So just removing the moss, I don't have the patience for that. But I know some people do and some people like it. So let's begin. I am going to start filling up my 3-ounce cup. There has to be an easier way where I don't have to twist. Let me try and put some in this container. Oh, I lost some. It's okay. We'll get it in a minute. So I'm gonna try and put some in here. That way we don't have to do this whole twisting. You know, you always think you're prepared. You get everything under control. Everything is ready to go. And then you discover, wait, that's not working. All right, so here is my cup. And I am going to just place my cutting in there. I'm gonna try and keep the leaves on the edge this way. Therefore, there we go. There's my first one, and I'm gonna pin it down. And we are going to water it at the end. Let's do another one. I love propagating my plants. I just don't like the waiting. Sometimes it's pretty fast. It's I usually wait until my cuttings callus. Where's my, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you what these are. These are the Huskaliana. And these, believe it or not, came from the same plant that my Huskaliana variegated came from. Let me show you. This is the same plant. And you see on this side here, we have a fully green strand. She was dangling and I cut her off to see if she grows the same length, because we had some that were long and some that were short. So I cut her up, and I think she is gorgeous. But yeah, this is the Huskaliana reverted strand from my variegated. Here's some more. Let me put some more. Because they're so tiny, you gotta keep the level all the way up because of the short stem. And I think I was saying that waiting for new growth and waiting for roots is the most, you have to have the most patience for. Some grow pretty fast and root pretty fast, and others they take a little longer to root. Here's another one with very short stem. So I am going to try and, this is where we use these pins. They help secure the cutting in there. I'm not sure if I am going to place these propagation in a container. I was thinking about using the same one that I mix my substrate in and do iron some holes, several holes on the side and on the lid for ventilation. That was my intention with that bin when I purchased it, but I have been using it for mixing substrate. I might have to purchase another bin. Yeah, so sometimes, that's a cutie one. Sometimes I let my propagation stay under, like I have some in my living room and they're under the grow light inside my cabinet. But there's not a mat, a heating mat, nor a closed container for humidity. And sometimes I do put them in containers like this for the humidity. I don't know why I do it. I believe, actually I do know, I do recall. It's because some of the smaller leaf, thin leaf Hoyas, they, to me, at least for me, they tend to melt in those containers. I feel like it's too humid for them and they don't do so well. So I keep these smaller ones out where I can see them more frequently. Now these, like this one, this is a Carnosa publicalis, a hybrid. I would put her in a container. Let's do the I forgot what she was called. Linearis. Let's do some of the Linearis. My Linearis has not bloomed for me yet, but she was very long. So I cut her up and we're gonna root her. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do with the Linearis? I'm gonna root her in coco coir. Coco coir and perlite. I think that will do better for her. I think that will work better for her because she is a very thin leaf and I don't want to lose her. So that's what I'm going to do for that one. This one is a sigillatus and I should have done this yesterday, but I don't know why I didn't. But I am going to, she has 2 nodes. I am going to place her in here and see if she roots. sigillatus is a very, very pretty Hoya when you sun stress her. I have, this one is not sun stressed. You can see a little bit of the purple on the back, but she is not sun stressed like this one is. Let me show you this one. Even though I believe she's going to lose these leaves because they are, see how pretty the sun stresses? I'm not sure if she's gonna make it, if those leaves are gonna make it, but I am also, she has 1, 2, 3 nodes. I am going to cut her right here. Leave the top node leave the top node the way it is, just in case she loses those top leaves. Perlite, so huge. The reason why I have size 4 Perlite is because the seller ran out of size 3 and I had to use the next best thing, which was size 4. And I do like it for some Hoyas, but not for propagating. So here we go. Hopefully that sun stress one will make it. If not, there were 2 additional nodes that I think will do well. I have another one that also has 3 nodes. Again, I'm gonna cut right there in the bottom. And this one has a baby leaf. See that right there? Right there. And I don't believe that baby leaf is going to survive. So we're not going to even cut her up. We're just gonna leave her there. At the end, once I have everything potted, I will label my cups, or this one's not staying. So you see how the stem is kind of curved? It doesn't want to stay in there. So I might just lay it on top and then pin it with the strawberry clip. There we go. I don't like to force my Hoyas to doing something they don't want to do. So I am just going to pin her down. There she is. Oh, she's not touching the substrate. So I am going to put some more on top. That way her stem is covered. Okay. These are my Lectinosa variegated, and she is gorgeous. Where is she? She's up here. I cut her up. And it was so painful. It was so painful to cut her up. I got 4 pieces out of that. Out of 2 strands, I got 4 pieces. That's what you gotta do sometimes. Your mama plants get big and it's time to cut and share. Now there are some that I have not cut yet. And for example, my AH049, I recently cut her. And it was heartbreaking. It was, I felt like I was cutting a finger part of my finger. I was like, oh no, I don't want to cut her. But yeah, it was time because I want her to continue to grow. And sometimes when you do cut a stem or tendril, it encourages new growth and not, wait, there's a perlite here that's making this hard for me too. So yeah, when you make cuttings on your Hoyas, they start spreading out in other directions. So I want to encourage that. It had a very long tendril with only one growth point. So by cutting it, my hope is that she will start spreading out another tendril, and then in that way I can cut from the longest tendril, still have a bushy plant. And if you have seen my videos, the AH049 was a wish list that took me almost a year to find. And once I found her, she was costly. She cost me a little penny, but I don't want to say that that's what I work for, because, you know, we don't work for our plants. We don't go and labor for 40 hours a week for our plants. You see me laughing, right? But no, you know, we do. Let me change the pronoun and talk about myself. I do enjoy purchasing plants, especially those that are on my wish list. I have one that's on my wish list, and it is the Ache Air. And I did buy her. Actually, I did buy her not too long ago, but she didn't make it. I'm not sure if it was the heat, the travel. I'm not sure what it was, but she cost, with shipping and tax, she cost close to $100 for cutting one node to leaf. And I lost her immediately. In 2 days, she started to yellow. And then she started degressing. And I did contact the seller. Not gonna say who it was, but I did contact the seller and even send pictures. And I sent that picture 24 hours after the plant arrived. I found a green Puscaliana, so I'm gonna insert her in here, in the green one. So I contacted her and sent her a picture, and she was like, oh no, please keep me updated, and gave me some recommendation. Like she said, to sanitize the stem and to place the cutting in water, but not to place the cutting in a container. And I did that. And the following day, and one day I came back from work and she came with 2 leaves. The yellow leaf fell. So now I only had 1 leaf. And again, I contacted her, told her what I did, exactly what she told me to do. And she said, I'm sorry, but you informed me too late. I'm like, too late? I sent you a picture 24 hours after the purchase, after the package arrived. And she sent me a snapshot of her return policy. And her return policy was 12 hours. Therefore, I contacted the support, the customer support, and sent all our messages, our conversations, and the seller sent me a 34% of the cost that I had invested. And that's all she was going to do. That became my last purchase from her. And I know we all have policies and so forth, but if if you're gonna do business, I don't have my iron with me, so I am just going to cut the edges here to make some holes for the larger leaves. But if you're gonna have a business and see, I made a hole here and another one over here. All I'm saying, if you're gonna have a business and your regular customer is saying, hey, this happened, it's not best practice to say, well, suck it up. That's how I feel. Suck it up. When I had spent a good amount of money, because $100 on a cutting, to me at least, is very expensive. So you're going to lose my business because you want to prove a point. That to me is not, it's not smart. But that's what happened. And I have not purchased from them anymore. And I've said this many times. I have over 400. I got a clip. What I'm going to do with this tendril is I am going to clip her around. That way she's not disturbing my other propagations. And if I have another one, I would just clip her here. So I'm not losing that tendril because there's several nodes on it and area roots. Let me show you. Hopefully she will continue to grow. These are my hybrid Publicalyx carnosa. It's a beautiful specimen. So yeah, that's what happened with my recent purchase of my wish list plants. And I am constantly buying. With a collection like mine, which is by now about 450 plus, I'm constantly buying plants. So yeah, it doesn't seem smart to me that you will lose a customer instead of trying to make it right and continue to have the customer who spends weekly $50 to $60 easily on a plant. If I were to tell you the amount of money I spend on my plants, I don't know. I haven't even thought of it. But I started buying recently Sansevieria's Dracaenas, and I have a video of my collection, but I started with rounding up an odd number. I started with 10 Sansevierias when I did that video. If I'm off by 1 or 2, please forgive me. But I started with 10, let's round it up to 12. With 12 Sansevierias. Now, I might have close to 22. And there are so many Sansevierias out there that I was unaware of. But the ones that I added to my wish list, I obtained in less than a week. And I think I added about 6 of them. And I got those that I wanted. Therefore, I am going to stop on my Sansevierias right now because I don't have the space. I even had to take my Dracaena. I had a Dracaena here in the living room. And I had to take her outside because I don't have the space for my beautiful Sayori Sansevieria. And she is gorgeous. Gorgeous. If you have not seen that video, I suggest you do because she is breathtaking. I love that thing. This is an Imperialis and she has 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes. I don't know how I'm going to stick her in here because unless I cut this, I might have to cut that bottom leaf because her stem is so short there. Oh, maybe this will work. Oh, that might do the trick. Let's see. Okay. That worked. There we go. Sometimes you surprise yourself. I have 1, 2, 3 Imperialis. And again, I'm making holes on these. I didn't think I was going to need these, but I brought them just in case. And I have to be careful. I have to look at what I'm doing because a few days ago, I cut my finger. I don't want to show you because it's nasty. I cut my finger with a knife as I'm looking sideways and cutting. The same thing you tell your children not to do is what you did. All right, this is another Imperialis, and that's a nice size one. It has nodes, 2 nodes. And my Imperialis has not bloomed for me yet, but the blooms are impressive. Very big. Here is my last piece. Love this one. And again, very short stem. So I am going to try and stick her in the smallest one. Well, this is like a 7-inch. Yep. I'm gonna try and use this one and place her in here. I love that the perlite adds those pockets of oxygen to the, like right here, to the fluval. I think that's what makes it root so quickly, and the roots that they grow, they're so healthy and strong. Oh, let me show you what I bought at Target today. That again, I don't propagate usually in water, but I found these in the teacher corner for $1. Aren't these fantastic for propagations? Sometimes you have those very long stems. Like, look at this. This would have been perfect right there. That was not bad for $1. I also found, let me show you. Let me go get it. These storage baskets. And what do you think I can use these for? They kind of remind me of those orchid pots. I'm gonna take my iron, soldering iron, is that what they're called? And I'm gonna iron some holes, poke this like 5 or 6 times, and I'm gonna use this as a pot. I bought 3 just to try them out, but I was impressed with those because they're very strong, sturdy. And I was telling my sister, oh, I can use this for pots. She's like, pots? That's not a pot. That's for a classroom. I said to her, oh, you don't know what we planted people can do with a lot of things. She's not a plant lover like me. My mother is. My mother has always been a plant lover. And she comes here, and you know how that goes. I like that. Oh, can I take some of that? Oh, I like that one too. And then when I go to her house, she doesn't have anything I really am interested on, but she does give me a lot of whatever she has. And she does a lot of cacti and succulents. And that is not something I'm really into. I mean, I do have a few, but not as many as she does. All right, this one. Oh, I didn't show you what I was doing over there, what that one was. These 2. I mean, the label, I created the label. Oh, Hanye. I think this was a Hanye. Created the label last night in order to speed this. But if I were, now I was tired. I had a long day yesterday, and I was enjoying. I took some vacation. I'm on vacation before the school year begins. I want to take time for myself and just be alone in my house. It sounds bad, but I don't know about you, but I love to be on my own. When my hubby is out fishing, for example, today he went fishing with my son-in-law. No, not my son-in-law. My sister, my brother-in-law, my sister, I told you earlier that my sister and I went to do girl stuff. They decided to go fishing. Please, please do. I love it because I get to have the house to myself. So yeah, I took some time off just to relax before the school starts. I am a school principal. I used to be a school teacher, and you know, over the summer I work. Teachers are out by May. They have 2 months off, but I don't. Administration does not. We still have to work. And I encourage all my teachers, you know, to enjoy their time off, to take some time off, to come back refreshed and with desire to start a new school year. And I decided to listen to my own advice this year. And I took last Friday, the 18th, and a whole week off, Monday to Friday. So I actually am taking 6 days off to myself. I have a few lives, or one. I only schedule one live, and I'm prepping for my plant shows. And again, if you have not followed me in Blossm, Blossm, there's no O after the S. Blossm, Blossm. Check me out. I have a couple of Hoyas and non-Hoya in my store, and that way you can see when I do my lives, and we can meet and chat, and you can see what we are all about. I am going to link my account below, that way you can find me easy. I go by the same name, Majestical Plants. Here is a Rigida Splash. All right, so I have a couple more that I will do off camera, but before I do that, I want to show you my new purchases. This one is called a Magic. But she spelled it with Magic. I'm gonna have to look into this one. But she was only $10, and she is well rooted. So see that? I don't know what her blooms look like, so I'm excited. And then this one is called a Colonial Mix. And these are brand new to my collection. I've never heard of them, but I am going to pot them up. All right, my friends, I am going to continue propagating my linearis and my Dashidias and a couple more leaves. I have another Rigida Splash. So I am going to do my 3 Rigida Splash off camera. And this one is the Revolubius. You know Hoyas and their odd names. I'm gonna propagate those. I'm going to put those in their cups because now I have to go back and make some more holes on these. And I will meet you at the end. All right, this is the process. I've potted everyone up, including the Linearis. I had mentioned that I was going to use coco coir and perlite, but I decided to just continue using this substrate, the same one I used for my other cuttings, and see how it goes. I've successfully been able to root everyone in Fluval and Perlite, so I decided to try it with my Linearis, and I got everyone potted up. So now we're gonna label, and then I cleaned my container. I decided to put my propagations here in my grandchildren's bedroom. There is a, let me show you. You probably cannot see it, but it does have a heating mat. And I gave it some light. And I put this terracotta pot there because the light needs some support to keep it from touching the plastic. I am not sure if the plastic will burn with that bulb touching, it. So if I put a terracotta, something heavy here, it will give it the support it needs. It will give it the length it needs, or the height it needs, in order not to touch the plastic, just in case it burns. It might not. This is a Sansi grow light, and they are very hot to the touch, so I wanted to be careful. But here they are, potted on July 19th, 2025, just for reference, and I'll see how long it takes. I also have a few more propagating. Let me show you. I did those a few days ago. Let me turn off the TV. I did those a few days ago, so let me show you where I have them. And I'm running out of space unless I put them in my greenhouse, but I'm afraid that I will not be able to keep an eye on it, and I might lose them. So keeping my propagations near me helps me to keep an eye and to check up on them more often than I do when I have them in the greenhouse. So let me turn the camera around and I'll show you the propagations that I did last week. They have been propagating for maybe 5 days now, not a whole week. Hey friends, so I wasn't able to finish my video yesterday, my propagation video yesterday. I got a message on my phone saying that my memory, I had no storage. So I had to go back and delete a whole bunch of stuff, and then here we are today. We're gonna finish the propagation that I was mentioning that I had started several days ago. Let me show you those, and that way there's a proper end to this video. I'll see you in a little bit. So here I placed a couple of those propagations we did earlier. My linearis, I have 2 in here, and my revolubius. I placed them in here because I didn't have any space in the container. So they're going to be in here. Pot it up, place them in here as well. And then this is propagation of my poly outer variegated. It's the first time I've cut her down. And there's several pieces in here. And then, oh, I just noticed some of them are yellow. This one, this leaf here. We will see how it goes. Again, it's the first time I'm better. Here I have a AH049. Beautiful leaf. This is the wish list I told you I paid a little penny for. I do not see any roots yet. This is the other large leaf, and it is a Vitelina jabbar. I might have to water these. Maybe tomorrow. And look at those stunning leaves. So pretty. That's a jabbar. This one here is a Publicalyx splash. She looks very similar to the ghost, but she is the splash, and she turns pink if you give it enough light. You saw my linearis. This one is a Nabuensis splash. Oh gosh, let me try and pick her up. And she is gorgeous. I love this plant. She came extremely tiny, and she's grown all this for me. All right, let me try and be careful. Here's another Publicalyx splash. No roots yet. Interesting. And this one, these here, if you noticed, I propagate these in coco coir and perlite. And it has some vermiculite in there too. And if you remember, I showed you the Publicalyx in here, and they are in stratum and perlite. And I planted these all at the same time. And you saw those have roots, and these are still not showing any roots yet. So that tells you that they grow much faster in stratum. AH049. Oh my gosh, I just love this plant. That's why it cost me a penny. Here's another AH049. Look at this leaf. Oh, breathtaking. Yeah, no roots yet, but she is wrinkly, so we're gonna have to water these babies today. Okay, so yeah, that's my propagation that I started a week ago. Okay, with that in mind, I want to say goodbye, my friends. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. If there's something different that you do, let me know. I might learn something new. Thank you, my friends. I will see you in the next one. As always, stay majestical and have a blessed day. Goodbye, my friends.